Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me here on my very first YouTube video. I'm super excited because a lot of hard work and time got me to this point. I am so ready to share everything with you. Today we'll be reviewing all the beautiful local Chicago art here behind me on my wall. I'll be telling you guys a little bit about each artist and where I got it. Stay tuned. Alright you guys, we've got 6 artists to highlight today, as well as 8 pieces to get through. So, if you like any of them, I've linked a lot of the artists' websites, as well as some of their Etsy stores down in the description. Also, I got most of these pieces at Andersonville Galleria, so take a look at that store. It's a lot of fun. It is a retail space for Chicago artists to sell their stuff. Check it out. Our first artist today is Joe Smigielski. As you can see, he's got these really fun, whimsical pieces. He's got a ton of paintings on sale on his website and his Etsy store. And this is one that I found at Galleria. He's a lot of fun. Wanted a piece that had the Chicago skyline, and I think this was the perfect piece. This next piece is really cool. It's by an artist called Steve Connell, and he does these amazing Chicago paintings on his iPad. I actually think that's a really creative, unique way of doing things. Obviously, it's a newer medium that most people aren't used to seeing in a gallery, but as you can see, it's gorgeous. There are a ton of different options. I wanted to go for as many Chicago theater spaces as possible. This is the main stage up in Rogers Park. The thing I like most about his stuff is there is definitely a sense of humor and a bit of camp with some of the pieces. I really like that. So check his stuff out. This is another piece I found at Galleria. All right, this next one is mostly everyone's favorite so far. It's this really cool print of the L map. So if you're not from Chicago, it's the elevated train. And it's just really simple and straightforward, but it's by this guy called LUCIUSart. He sells his stuff mainly on Etsy. He's also got a Store Envy website. So check his stuff out. He's got some really cool things. All right, this next piece is probably my favorite artist. He's a photographer, and he's just got some really great sentiments on his website, and that comes with the art pieces that emphasize the pride that people have in this great city of Chicago. So I definitely recommend checking out his website in particular. He's got some really great thoughts, and you can just tell that his work is for Chicagoans. So I got this really cool piece. It's the Chicago Theater, and it's a bit of a unique shot of it, I think, from a unique angle. I really like this one. I love the artist. His name is Hiroshi Ariyama. He's got this really great series called Our City, Our Neighborhood. It just really gets down to the root of why this city is so great. This next piece I did not get at Andersonville Galleria, but it was a gift for me last Christmas. I really love it. It's this simple, beautiful design with just a pop of color. You can find prints like this at Elizabeth Edwards' Etsy page. Now you do have to be careful. There are 2 Elizabeth Edwards on Etsy, so if you like her work, make sure you follow the link below rather than just Googling her. This next piece is probably the coolest one that I have. It's this really cool vintage looking Chicago sign. And this is it. But it also lights up. And I don't know, it's just the coolest thing, I think. It's by this really incredible artist named Amy Manning. She used to take these vintage pieces and turn them into like functional either art pieces or things like tables for your home. Now she makes vintage looking art pieces. She and her family own a company called Second Chance Art and Accessories. You can find her at her website. Now earlier in the video I said we had 6 artists and 8 pieces. The last 2 pieces are my personal favorites. The first one, I'm not telling you the artist because I want you to have a reason to go to Anderson Galleria so that you can see who the artist is, so that you can check out all of these pieces in person. It's really worth the trip. But this next piece is this beautiful, I believe it's a photograph of the Uptown Theater. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to get as many pieces of Chicago theater as possible. Earlier I had Main Stage and the Chicago Theater. The Uptown is actually a movie palace, so not technically a theater venue, but When it first opened in 1925, they had a 34-piece orchestra that used to perform full stage productions that went with the theme of their movie. So I definitely consider this one of our great theater venues in this city. I actually think it's one of the top 10 coolest buildings in the city in general. Currently, there's a plan for a $75 million restoration, which I'm personally really excited about. I can't wait to see it in all its glory. So the entire time that I've lived here, it's been closed. So super looking forward to being able to enjoy it. Now this last piece is a family heirloom. I got it from my grandma Lindner. Our family bought it in the 80s and I actually don't know who the artist is. It's kind of hard to read the signature. I've reached out to basically all of the museums in Chicago. I reached out to all of the universities in Chicago, and I just didn't get any leads. I also did like a Google reverse image search. Couldn't find anything on this artist. So I'm gonna show it to you guys. But if you happen to know anything about this artist, please let me know. I'm trying to figure out who it is, not just because it's a family piece, but I'm just curious. It's this gorgeous painting of the Chicago Water Tower. If you have been down the Magnificent Mile, you will recognize this. It's across the street from the building that used to be the Waterworks building, which is now the Looking Glass Theater. I'll do a close-up really quick of the signature so you can take a look. Alright guys, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of each piece in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and keep an eye out for my new quick tips series and Shy Theater Talk.